endlessly searching for an original sound.
Hey guys, welcome back to The Letter. So we just had a very interesting ending of an episode. Gone just as quickly as they appeared, fleeting from one scene to the next and leaving me wondering if this is simply what's typical for the rich and famous. If so, I'd rather stay with my run-down apartment or our little shack back home. There's still joy in the smallest things after all. With a house this big, it's not surprising when ceremony takes few hours to finish. The sun's already high by the time we've gone through the last room. I can never say I'm a devout follower of my faith, even with Mama and Papa's teachings. But hearing each word Father Norman uttered as we went around the house has put me at ease. All of a sudden, the mansion doesn't seem so scary anymore. Maybe there is an end to this? Or perhaps this is the end? Father Norman bids us goodbye upon exiting the mansion grounds. He has business in the village nearby. He says a minute gesture to reach out to the members of their parish every once in a while. It reminds me of the distant memory of helping hands and a few kind smiles that helped my family pull through when times were tough. But before he leaves...
Isabella, a word before I go? Zachary hasn't been really forthcoming with your situation, and it is something I understand it wasn't his to share. But whatever burdens you, know that it's not a permanent fixture in your life. Besides, you have people to bear it with.
I bite back a harsh retort before they come out, masking it with a smile as we wave the good priest off. He didn't mean anything mean about it. His words meant to comfort has only left a bitter taste in my mouth. And if they don't believe you, what am I to do? A hand lands briefly on my shoulder, taking me out of my thoughts before they take a sullen turn. But my smile doesn't quite reach my ears when I turn to him.
Say, do you want to go somewhere?
Right now? Where to?
Anywhere in the city. I'll leave it up to you.
It wouldn't hurt. I've got some stuff I need to buy. Groceries. And there's a shop I want to check.
Is it real food this time?
Let me guess. Rebecca?
She's just worried about you. Even I can't eat that much instant noodles.
Think of it as a talent. Let's just go, Zach.
I smile, a real one this time, devoid of any unpleasant thoughts. Regardless of what happened between us these past few days, I don't want to think harshly of them. Zach had me wait on a nearby bench upon arriving prior to going off somewhere. He hasn't returned since, and it's been a good 20 minutes of being left alone entirely to my thoughts. In this weather, the city park gives off a lazier and more languid vibe than usual. Where children are usually seen running around and playing, there are now people lying, leaning back on their picnic blankets, simply enjoying the afternoon sun. The smell of food drips from nearby carts, and if the wind blows in the right direction, one would catch the whiff of a freshly trimmed grass. I'd gladly sleep on this bench if I wasn't waiting for someone. Soon enough, I see his little hulking figure running towards me, carrying a medium-sized box on one hand and casually waving the other to me. He's panting when he reaches my bench. Sweat drips profusely from his forehead, but there's a grin on his face.
Sorry, the line was really long. Really long.
You didn't have to run. Sit down first.
Nah, I'm good. Didn't want to make you wait for these.
I already know what's in the blue box before he opens it. Cinnamon rolls, all 6 of them topped with a white creamy cheese glaze. The very same one I bought after I sold my first property. After I met Zach, Ash, and Becca. Funny how such a small thing could trigger a distant memory, no matter how mundane it is. I don't say no to free food, but why is he getting me these now?
What for?
He leans on an empty space beside me, wiping the sweat from his forehead before answering.
An apology. And as thanks for yesterday and the other day.
You don't have to buy me anything, Zach.
You were upset. You haven't been yourself recently, and people kind of miss that, you know?
Are you just saying that, or...
No, really. Rebecca told me. You know how she is. Ashton, too.
Ashton was an ass. He should have been named Ashhole instead.
He went a little overboard, yeah. I can talk to him if you want.
He'll still tease me about it, even if it's Rebecca telling him to stop. Besides, I can handle him.
You always do. And yesterday, when you talked me through my little slump, I thought, hey, I want our old Isabella back. Are you still upset?
There are times when I wish Zach had been my big brother, or Becca my older sister. Maybe life would have been a little easier then. Maybe Papa wouldn't be as sick as he is. Maybe I wouldn't be alone here. But then again, if he is, if they are what I wish them to be, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have met Ash too. Life back home is tough, but for all that, I wouldn't change it for one selfish wish. In this city of 68,000 people, I have people I could depend on. 3 of them, in fact. When you think about it, when you compare the numbers to the odds of finding someone like them amidst this sea of nameless people, I'm lucky.
Thanks a lot for today, Zach. You didn't have to, but you did. I can always count on you.
Just me? No Ashton or Rebecca? Oh boy, they won't be happy to hear that.
It's supposed to be a secret. Shh.
I don't mind being the favorite, though.
Nope, no favorites. But you cook better than both of them, so that's a plus.
It's always been food with you, ain't it?
Don't put it like that! You're making me sound like a glutton.
I'm not saying you are, but it does feel good to know there's someone I could invite for food to be able to eat all of it.
Only that? I thought we were also art buddies.
Oh, that too. But the food thing really stands out when you think about it. You do eat a lot for someone your, size.
Low blow. I take pride in my height.
So, is it okay now? Do you feel better? Does it still scare you?
A little. I'll be okay. I'll figure it out, somehow. It's not as bad as the other day, and Father Norman helped too. I should have brought something to thank him.
Oh, we could visit him anytime. He loves hearing from the young ones.
He isn't that old, is he?
Don't know. He doesn't tell. I think I might have seen his face somewhere before. I just couldn't recall when or where. Ash says he looks like his boss, so the bartender at the local pub if he squints. Don't take his word for it, of course. He might have accidentally inhaled something from the forensic lab again when he said that.
This time, the laughter that comes from both of us is genuine. Back to the usual. Things may have not been the easiest lately, but it certainly isn't the worst that has happened. We do end up sharing the cinnamon buns between us, despite Zach's insistence that it's only for me. But more than the food, there's a relief and contentment.
If you need anything, just ring, okay? Like when Ash annoys you too much. I'll help you with him, best friend or not.
No way. I can take him on.
Still an extra muscle wouldn't hurt, yeah? Just let me know, and I'll back you up. My sister knows this one thing to shut him up when he's being his usual self. Ask me what it is whenever you want, and I'll spill it.
I don't think that's necessary, but thanks. I'll keep that in mind.
He waves me with a smile. He leaves me with a smile and a wave. Off to some new gig again. As for me, we still need to talk. Becca, Ash, and I put petty arguments aside like the adults we are. This, however, is a start, no matter how small it may be. I just hope I can make them safe. I can keep them safe. A light wind blows again, sending dried leaves swirling and the distant smell of earth into the air. For the first time, the sunlight feels less harsh. Maybe a walk is good. I need to visit the grocery too. Come to think of it, wasn't there an art store that opened up recently near the park? The cat's name is Beruthiel. Or at least that's the name that's what his collar says. It's an odd name to give a cat in my opinion, but it speaks grace, much like the one that carries it. It shows in the way he swishes his tail and his eyes follow my hand's every movement. I'm not sure what he finds fascinating in me, to be honest. I wasn't the very picture of grace when he found me, after all. It was a bad idea carrying 2 heavy bags of newly bought art materials and groceries without help or a sure ride home. In hindsight, perhaps I should have thought all of this. I shouldn't have bought all of these at the same time. I didn't even make it past the park. And now I'm suffering underneath the glaring afternoon sun, hunched up on a park bench and drenched in sweat, in the company of a cat curiously watching my every movements. I hope it stays where it is. It's just a black cat, but back home they're considered an ill omen.
Don't look at me like that! I can act graceful as well if I want to.
Not that I've ever acted graceful in my life, of course. Growing up with the rowdy younger brothers and sisters does that. Or maybe it's the opposite. Mama used to call me a little troublemaker before. Well, graceful or not, there's no use moping. A short breather and then I'm off home. Besides, it isn't like the company's bad, even if it's a cat, as long as it doesn't bite or cross my path.
Well, where's your owner, anyway?
He has one, doesn't he? An owner? That's what the collar's for, isn't it? A bandage is wrapped around one of its paws, though. I wonder what happened to it. Did he run away?
Well, if you don't have one, I won't be able to take you in. My apartment doesn't allow pets. I tried to bring one home before, a cat. Not black, of course. And Rebecca threw a fit before the landlady could.
I take a small packet of sweets from one of my bags beside me and pop it open. As I'm about to open one into my mouth, he meows. My hand stops.
Do you want one?
He doesn't meow again, as if I'm expecting him to, but I take his unblinking gaze as a, yes, please give me the food. I shift my piece in my palm and hold it out to him wearily. He sniffs at it once before...
Berufia!
Like a good, properly trained pet, Beruthiel responds as soon as he's called. Recognition comes as soon as my head snaps in the direction of the voice. Miss McCollough's, hard to miss, what with her height.
I'm sorry. Did my cat hurt you? Miss Santos, was it? I'm surprised to see you here.
Nice to meet you again, Miss McCollough.
Were you harmed in any way? I'm sorry. Beruthiel's not exactly fond of other people. Even run away from the veterinarian right now.
Oh no, he was just sniffing my hand earlier.
My Beruthiel's a she.
The hell were we supposed to know? She? All this time I thought. The pause in conversation, if this can be called one, is uncomfortable. We're merely 2 people working different jobs for the same client. Frankly, meeting like this don't happen a lot. And if it does, a simple nodding of the head is enough. I keep my tone cordial and warm.
I'm actually surprised you have a cat, Miss McCollough.
And why exactly is that? There are a lot of people who have pets.
Yeah, but not a black one. I'm amazed you're taking care of one.
I don't understand what you're trying to get at. Is there a problem with my cat?
No, not at all. She's very sweet. Just in other cultures, aren't they a sign of bad luck?
Back at home it is. My grandmother used to tell me stories about it and...
Nothing has happened to me so far.
Displeasure is evident on her voice. Of course, I've forgotten that for other people, black cats are an omen of good luck. There you go again, running your mouth off, Isabella. I rack my brain for a way to remedy the situation, but she holds out her hand.
This is a good place to stop and end this conversation, don't you think so? It is good to see you again, Santos.
A complete dismissal if I've ever had one. Alright, I am very much curious now what happens if you go backwards, so let's find out. Yeah, screw you people. I'm gonna be able to do this. This is my damn Let's Play. My damn Let's Play.
I'm just curious. About your work.
What about it?
There's something guarded in her expression at the mention of work, but I push through with my question.
I just want to know how it is to work on a house like the Ermengarde mansion. Is it hard?
I guess she wasn't expecting a question like that. If the way her eyebrows shot up tells me something...
Because of its age? I wouldn't say it is. It is a challenge, considering the factors me and my team have sought out. But it's a good project. A breath of fresh air from what I usually work on. And I have a good team. Those original fittings, though. It might be old, but the architecture is magnificent. I'm sure you've seen the stained glass windows in the foyer. Oh, I can already think of so many things I could do with it. But of course, my team will have to double check for necessary repairs here and there. That's probably for the best. It's easy to break some key elements with a rush restoration job, and who knows what other hidden issues there might be underneath. People can be so careless. I'm sorry, I spoke too much.
No, it's okay. You seem to really love what you're doing.
It's not really like that. I'm just lucky to have found work in an interesting field. Anyway, Bruthiel's due for her visit to the vet. Nice talking to you, Miss Santos. I wish you luck with what you're planning to work on. It seems like a big project, too.
She gestures with her head towards the bags. The ones filled with stuff I've recently bought from the art store.
It's a project for a friend, actually.
All the same. Good luck.
I watch her as she leaves, though she stops shortly before crossing the threshold separating the park from the street. She faces me again, looking like there's something she has forgotten to say.
By the way, about the Ermengarde mansion, with my clients, it's the rights, I mean, I hope you don't mind me asking, but has the deal been finalized?
There's still a few papers they need, but the house is more or less theirs now.
Ah, thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Wait, about the mansion.
The letter, the same one they saw. Whoever she is, she's asking for help. Someone. I want to tell Miss McCollough that the urban legends aren't just legends anymore. They're real. She's not going to believe me.
Don't mind me. I need to go too. Have a good day, Miss McCollough.
I hasten to pick up all the bags I've left on the bench and ran as far as my legs can take me. In that moment, what I'm carrying in my hands weigh far lighter than the overwhelming guilt trying to consume me. Home. I want to go home. Anywhere where I won't be reminded of the house, of her, of my own cowardice. I'm gonna save, because screw you people, I made my choices. Let's actually look and see how that goes. Let's look at our relationships. Zachary's relationship is way up there. Luke's isn't. Good. Hannah's is stifled. Rebecca's is going up. The food tastes less appetizing tonight. A pity. One would think that someone who had been on a continuous binge of instant noodles would find a home-cooked meal enjoyable, but it isn't. Hunger isn't what is gnawing at me tonight, neither are my sore muscles. The TV runs loudly in the background, but what it says barely registers in my brain. It's hard when things you're trying to forget keep returning to the forefront of your mind. It distracts you. It eats at you. It devours you. I wish this would stop. I wish I wasn't the one who picked it up. I wish it was somebody else.
In other local news, a woman was found dead in her home yesterday evening. Luxbourne police officials are currently investigating the crime scene, but has classified the case as homicide.
Huh?
The victim, identified as Rose Pamela Cooper, 33 years old, working as a real estate agent.
Rose?
Discovered lying in a pool of blood in her two-bedroom flat with the words "Help me" repeatedly written on the walls.
No. No. This isn't what I want. This isn't supposed to happen. None of this is supposed to happen. No one was supposed to die. Those are just stories, right? Legends. That's what everyone has kept telling me, so why? And Immediately, I rush to my study table in search of my phone. My hand, cold from dread, clings tightly to it as soon as I touch its edges. A piece of paper, the letter, lying unassumingly beside it, slips to the floor when I pick up the device. I put no mind to it. There are more important things. Right now. Right now. I need to call her. I need to call her. I was with her. I was with her not too long ago, and she was okay. No. 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 It isn't Rose. I'm sure of it. I just talked to her and... A sob escapes me and hot tears begin to blur my vision. One after another they trickle down, weighted by the very same guilt I refuse to admit I've been carrying from the start. The same one I've been hiding from. The same one that has put the people I care about in danger. My hand shakes as I navigate to Rose's number on my contacts list. She'll answer, right? That's what she always does. She'll pick it up, tell me to turn down the waterworks, and call me a wuss afterwards.
She'll answer. Please answer, Rose.
Again and again I dial, whispering, praying, pleading.
Come on, Rose! Don't do this to me! Please pick up! I know you're there, Rose. You're not dead. Please tell me you're not.
This adds to the series of deaths and disappearances that has plagued Luxbourne in the recent years. The authorities are currently looking at a possible link with the notorious Anselm Butcher case.
The TV runs loudly in the background. A deafening static sounds from my phone speaker. But in my ears, I can only hear the screams, her pleas, her whispers. We are not safe. Well, guys, next time, we'll talk about more. Thank you guys for joining me for the game, and I'll see you all. Don't forget there's a ton of links there in the description. So clicky, clicky, clicky if you please. Thank you all. Bye.
This is a no-go. I just can't take hold. This is a danger zone. Pack up and get me home. This is a no-go. I just can't take hold.